my name is Paige. Welcome to the mid-year book tag. My 1-year booktube anniversary was last month. I didn't end up doing anything for it like I had kind of hoped to, but this tag is the second video that I ever filmed, so I'm kind of excited to get to repeat it officially after 1 year on booktube. The first question is, what is the best book that you have read so far in 2021? And I would have to say A Destiny of Dragons by TJ Klune. This is the third in the Tales from Verania series, and I don't really want to say too much about this one in particular, besides the fact that it was just such a good book in the series. I felt like it was the strongest, it was the steamiest, it was the funniest, it had the most at stakes for the characters too, and it was really heartbreaking at certain points and hilarious at other points. So overall, this series is probably my favorite of the TJ Klune books that I read, probably my favorite series of all time now, but this book in particular was my favorite. I just thought it was such a good book. I loved book 3. But if you would like to know about the series as a whole, it starts with the Lightening-Struck Heart, and this is about a young wizard apprentice named Sam of Wild. He is wanting to become the youngest wizard in his land, and he is going to one day be the king's wizard, and he just has a really tight-knit family and friend group who are so wonderful, and he also has a huge crush on a knight, but the knight is engaged to the prince who will someday become Sam's king. So it ends up having lots of adventures, lots of angst, lots of pining, and it's so fun, it's so cute, it's hilarious, it's just so much fun. But book number 3 of the series is my favorite, and I think it was my favorite of the books that I've read so far this year. Question number 2 is, what is the best sequel that you have read in 2021? I don't know if this counts as a sequel, but I would have to go with Rule of Fools by Leigh Bardugo. I really liked King of Scars. I really liked this duology, and I felt like this one, although it had some parts that I found a little bit boring and it kind of left things open-ended in certain ways, and there are some characters that I would not have liked to see ever again in this, but I thought it just set up some stuff for a potential another Grisha-verse book, and that makes me really excited. I also really loved what it did with Nina as a character, so I did really enjoy this duology, but I don't know if this is technically a sequel or not since it's a duology, but it's like book 7 of the Grisha-verse. I don't really know, but I'm gonna go with this one because I did really enjoy this one, and I cannot wait to see what comes out next in the Grisha-verse. Number 3 is, what is a new release that you have not read but you want to? And you can check out this video of all of the books on my entire physical TBR that I have yet to read, but I would say a new release that I have not yet read would be One Last Stop. Everyone is raving over that one. I cannot wait to get to it. I'm supposed to be reading it for my July TBR, but I'm kind of slacking with my TBR reads this month, so someday I will get to it, but I'm very excited to read that one. It just sounds so cute. Number 4 is, what is your most anticipated read of the second half of the year? And I have to say, without a doubt, it is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I just got approved for the ARC on NetGalley, so I'm going to be reading this so soon because I am obsessed with TJ Klune. I love his books so much, and this one just sounds so heartbreaking, and I know I'm going to sob my way through it. But what I'm gathering, it's about a man who has just recently passed away, but he is kind of stuck in limbo, and I think he meets a man who owns some sort of like coffee house or something, who's also like the bridge to the other world. I am probably doing a terrible job of this, but it seems like a romance after death, and I think that just sounds angsty and heartbreaking, and the way that TJ Klune writes his characters, I know I'm going to fall in love. So it will be so sad if I don't. I'm just gonna be sad anyways because it just sounds so sad, but I cannot wait to read this one. Number 5 is, what is your biggest disappointment? And I feel like all of my answers are going to be TJ Klune books, but I would have to go with Bear, Otter, and the Kid. I really thought I would love this book. I love seeing siblings who kind of raise each other. That is just one of those tropes that I really love. I loved it in Supernatural where like Dean raises Sam. I loved it in Shameless where Fiona is raising all of her family. So this just had the premise of an older brother raising his younger brother that I thought I would love, and it also has like a childhood or younger friends to romance type trope in it that I love, but this book just did not do it for me. Bear, who is the main character, is just so angsty. Woe is me, everything's terrible, I don't deserve anything, I'm just always gonna be in this spot in my life, and it just was very grating to read after a while. And it's not the longest book, but I wanted to DNF this one so bad, but I pushed through because it's TJ Klune and I want to read almost all of his books if possible, but I don't think I will carry on with this series because Bear was just a little bit insufferable. Number 6 is what is the biggest surprise? And I would have to say Beach Read by Emily Henry. I expected to like it. I didn't expect it to like it as much as I did. Going into it, I had heard some people complain about it being more heavy on the angst and sadness and not quite a romance, but I ended up really liking those things about it, and other people really also did love that too. So it's just really good mesh of sadness and grief, but also lighthearted and romantic, and it was a big surprise. I kind of expected to slog through it a little bit based on the mood that I have been in throughout the first half of this year, not really wanting to pick up certain things and not really being sure if I wanted to read something kind of sad, but this one I really did love. And it also ties into the next question, which is who is your new favorite author of the year? And I would have to go with Emily Henry. I read Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation back to back, and I really like these. I like her writing style. I like the way that you really just get to know her characters and you feel like you could be friends with them and you really do root for them. I just thought both of these were really well done, and I really want to read more Emily Henry books now. Number 8 is who is your newest favorite crush? And I would have to go with both Alex and Zaf. They are so perfect. I loved both of them so much. If I could just find me an Alex or a Zaf, I would be so happy. I don't know where to find them though, so if anyone has any tips and tricks, let me know. But they are both just really good friends to the main female characters in both of them. They are so reliable and trustworthy and kind, and I love them both so much. Number 9 is who is your newest favorite character? And I'm gonna go all the way back to Lightening-Struck Heart and say Sam of Wilds is my favorite character. He is just a precious human. I love him. He's so funny. He's so protective. He's so caring. He is willing to put others before himself, and he is so lovable, and everyone in this universe seems to love him except for a few characters here and there, but people love him in this world, and I understand why, because he is just so kind-hearted and generous and loving, and he's perfect. I love Sam so much. I love him so much. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. I'm just gonna see this shelf. That's my answer. I cry a lot. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. So I could go with the TJ Klune book, which people are probably sick of me talking about TJ Klune, but I will go with all of these Tessa Dare books because they are just such easy, lighthearted reads. You can pick them up, put them down whenever you want to, and they are just not hard to get into, not hard to follow along with, and I just love that because I have been going through it the past couple of months, and it's just been nice to just pick up a book every now and then that's just cheesy and has happily ever after every single time, and there's no muss, no fuss with these. So I really enjoy Tessa Dare books. The next question is, what is the most beautiful book that you've bought this year? And I'm going to just have to go with Rule of Wolves. This cover, since it was revealed, I have thought it's just the most stunning, the way that it looks so 3D, and I just the detail on it's beautiful, and underneath is stunning. I love the way that this book looks. It's going to be sitting displayed on my shelf very soon. And the final question is, what books do you still have to read this year? And might I direct you again to my video that I put all of my books on my physical TBR in. But off the top of my head, I would like to read From Blood and Ash. I bought the entire series. I also have Daisy Jones and the Six and Malibu Rising that I would like to get to. One Last Stop that I already mentioned. Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I would also like to try ACOTAR probably. I've been saying that I was going to read it. The Mistborn series, I don't know, I feel like I'm cursed every time I say that I'm going to read it and then I just end up not reading it. So there are so many books that I would love to get to. I'm kind of slow this year in reading, so hopefully I can at least make somewhat of a dent in my physical TBR. That is it for the tag. I hope that you had fun. Please let me know what is your favorite book of the year so far so that I can add even more books to my want to read list. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Now I need to put the books away.